Da, 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 da. Wow. Clicked the wrong button to get everything started. Look at that. That's just hilarious. All right. So, Cooper, let's talk about how fantasy baseball works. Do you think you have a good grasp on how all this plays out and everything?
Sort of.
Sort of.
Not really. I'm still learning.
You're still learning. So I mean, what was
I'm
interesting?
still learning.
What was interesting for me was going through our first week and realizing that lineups change day by day. I didn't know that. I thought it was like fantasy football where you set your lineup and then it kind of goes and you have to have them on all week. So that was
No, you can choose. Pick and choose on who you feel as though is actually going to be effective that week.
see, if football did the same thing, I would probably do it more, but it doesn't. So
Football is easier. That's why people do it more. Because fantasy football is easier to really get compared to get a handle on compared to baseball itself. Because
true.
baseball is a very long sport, and having to change it every day makes it hard.
Yeah, and there was a mode on there that I didn't realize I hadn't activated, which is kind of glad I didn't. You can set weekly lineups or daily lineups, and I left it on daily. Just, not even putting two and two together, but, it is what it is.
You should put us on weekly next time.
I probably should, probably should. So, when it comes to scoring, have you figured out scoring yet?
Based off of whoever performs doing whatever. So like based off of what's all produced per game per player.
Okay. And like I told you in a text the other day, home runs are worth 10. Have you figured out how they're worth 10 points yet?
Yeah, because you messed up.
No.
And you put it as 10 instead of 7.
Here, let me show you how. Let me show you how it's worth 10 points. It's crazy. I did not realize I was going to do this. So, just going to say no bases loaded, no bases have anybody on. It's just the one person at bat. They get the home run, okay? They have their home run. Well, they have their run, okay? They count as a run at that point. They're going to get the home run, which is 4 points. They're going to get 4 total bases because they touch every base. They're going to get the hit.
Right.
Yeah, they're going to get the hit. And then that's 10 points.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. If they got a single, one. Oh, they're actually not going to get any runs, so I'll take that off. So they have a single, they have a total base, and they have a hit.
They get 3 points.
3 points for a single. If they get a double, they get the double. They get 2 bases, they get a hit. That's 5 points. They get a triple, they get the triple, the 3 bases, the hit. So we're 7 points. Each earned run is 2. You don't get points for hits. So a single is 2, a double is 4, and a triple is 6.
And home run is 10.
And home run is 10.
Gotcha.
And because of this number right here, every earned run is worth 2. If I remember that right from trying to do the math. So, oh, no, it's 1. You get an extra base hit mark in here. So, that's where that comes in. Extra base hits. XBs. Yeah. Run scored, RBI. Okay. Now I'm remembering how this calculates. I did it the other day and I was confusing myself. As you can see, I'm still confusing myself. So if you add every run scored, you could make a grand slam. 4 runs scored, or the run scored, 4 RBIs, 13 points off of a grand slam.
Because they're getting 3 extra.
Yep.
Versus just 1.
4 14 because it's an extra base hit too. So that's a lot of points for a freaking home. That's a lot of points for a grand slam and a home run. So it tallies up quick. Like pitchers. Pitchers are pretty simple. 3 outs. Two points per out.
That's easy. That's easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
The pitching is the easy. The singles, the doubles are easy enough. It's the home runs and why you have it set that way.
Yeah, they're worth more because technically they should be happening a lot less frequently than a regular single or a double. But you're gonna have those sluggers that are gonna give you those awesome points. They're gonna be worth.
And like I said, what I should have done is grab all the sluggers if I knew you were going to be putting it at 10 points.
I put it at 4, thinking it was going to be just 4, and I was wrong. It's not just 4, but that's okay.
It's 4 points per. That's what you put it as.
It's just the home run is 4, not everything else on top, like a little sandwich. And like I love in comparison to the simple league that I'm in addition to the league we're in right now, all that there is in that league is runs scored, singles, doubles, triples, home runs, total bases, RBIs, walks, and strikeouts.
That's like nothing.
That's nothing.
What we
so
have.
like the amount of stats that it cares about is very, very minimal. And then when it looks at pitcher stats, innings pitched, hits, runs, ERA, and then it looks at walks, strikeouts, and wins and losses. That's it. So I intentionally added a bunch of other stats to add more value to players because, well, as baseball nerds, we wanted to really see what each thing did. And it's kind of crazy.
Speaking of no-hitters being at 1, someone should have put. I bet somebody wishes they would have put Blanco on their list of people to get.
Oh, you mean this 9 points
scores
for a
really
no-hitter?
low. Yes, because he got a no-hitter today.
Though there's already a no-hitter in the first 4 games.
Yeah, Astros got a no-hitter against Toronto after getting completely swept by the Yankees.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that was a combined no-hitter, not a. That was one guy.
That was him. 105 pitches. That was it.
Oh. So, runs scored. That's pretty easy. Singles pretty easy. Doubles, triples, home runs, extra base hits. Now those are anything past a single, right?
Yes.
And then
not including a home run.
Not including. Okay.
Unless they get in the park home run, then it's still extra bases.
Then it's extra bases.
It's not a home run because they not a home run. It's extra bases.
And then total bases is going to be your total bases you touch per game per at bat. So that's how you get points there. RBIs, those are simple. Walks, strikeouts, HBPs as a batter versus hit batters on the other side. I love how that's classified in 2 different ways, and it's more clear this year and easier to read on a scorecard. Sack flies. Now this is one that I definitely had confused. What is a sack fly?
A sack fly is where if you have somebody in third and you're sacrificing them to get them home, just because you hit it far enough out there and they move from second to third or first to second does not classify it as a sacrifice fly. Sacrifice fly is you giving up your position to bring somebody in.
Does it have to be just from third home, or can they come in from second?
They can come in technically from second home, but that never happens.
Hey, I mean, if you got speed, you're going to be coming in.
Somebody tried that tonight. Julio tried that tonight, and it failed. So no one ever does it.
J-Rod didn't make it, huh?
No.
Okay.
He was out by a mile. Didn't even have a chance.
And then there's stolen bases, caught stealing, the counter there, GIDPs, grand slam home runs, the putouts. Putout. Okay, do you know what a putout is?
Yeah, when you throw it from home to second, home to third.
No.
Yeah?
No.
And you get them out. That's putting them out.
It's not just a home.
Oh, it's anywhere.
It's anywhere. Anyone that fields the ball, that their throw ends in someone getting an out. And then there's the assists, and there's OF assists for outfields, errors, the dreaded errors. And then the point that I love watching the most is the double plays turned. There have been a lot of double plays in the first week. Did you see that?
There has not. There has not actually, not compared to last year.
Well, okay.
It's like
to
it's a
last
fraction
year,
of what it
yes.
was. Yeah, it's a fraction of what it was. So
In the first 4 days, there have been 14, 25, 36, 42, 51, 57, 62, 78 double plays turned in the first 4 games.
okay, so 78 in the first 4 games. That is what, 32 teams? Is that right? Or is it 30 teams? It's 30 teams, right?
30 teams, yeah.
Yeah, 30 teams. So out of 4 games, out of 120 games played, 78 have had 78 total.
120 games
That
played?
120 games played.
It's not
But
120
you
games
also
played.
have to. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
That they're at game 5. My bad. The 150.
Divide that by 2. 30 divided by 2. There have not been that many games played.
Oh yeah, you're right. 75 games played. Sorry, I'm way fucking off.
Yeah, dude, you're way off.
I'm way off. Yeah, it's yeah. So, what did you say? It was how many? How many double plays?
Huh?
How many double plays did you say?
74.
So, 1 every 9 innings, basically, is what it's coming down to. So, based off of per game,
Which 1 every 9 innings is not bad.
it's not a whole lot either.
And then in comparison, we've had 74 or 78 grounded or double plays or double plays turned. We've only on our teams, so and that's just the players that we have scoring points. There have only been 22 of our players have grounded in double plays in our fantasy league. 22. So there's a ton more double plays being turned than we have grounded into. So that's pretty good right there.
Yes, it's a lot better too.
Yes. Definitely a lot better. And that's that all right there just for batting. And the other side, innings pitched per out, pitchers could get a minimum of 6 points per inning, depending on how they're performing. They're getting hits like crazy, like opening day for some of these pitchers, where they went negative points because they're giving up earned runs after earned run after earned run, just getting murdered.
Yeah, just like Ober.
Yeah, 31 points
take over.
the other day. 30. That's insane. And the tallies up fast. Like every earned run takes away from everything you're doing because you get a hit, you get a run in, and you're facing another batter. You're just not.
Now don't get me wrong. It's still that was what, 1 game out of 162. You're gonna have they're gonna have what, 40 some odd starts roughly, ish, right? About 40-ish starts.
39.
39. Yeah, so I was close. So 39 starts and having 30 points off is not, in the grand scheme of the whole thing, not bad.
Sorry, 32.4.
At the same time,
yeah,
it's bad.
32 or 33 starts is how most starting pitchers are going to end up at the end of the season. 32 or 33. Some of them, like in teams that do four-man rotations, which definitely kill their starting pitchers because then you get 3 days of rest and not 4. That's when you start to see higher games started and more innings pitched, but also a lot more hits and walks and other things. Pickoffs, quality starts, complete games. What counts as a quality start?
A quality start is if you actually do well during your start. So if you don't give up too many excessive runs, I think 3 is kind of like the max is considered a quality start, if I remember right. Let me make sure I understand.
A quality start
Pitches
is
at least 6 innings and 3 less runs earned. So I said the 3 innings. I knew it had that, but it's based off of you have to go 6+ with 3 less. So basically, you give up one every 2 innings.
so no hitters, and I love this distinction. I love this distinction. No hitters are where there's literally no hits on the opponent's side. But a perfect game is where you can't allow a walk, you can't allow a error, you're not hitting anybody, and there's no fielder's choices. So you are in complete control. So that perfect game, I'm wondering if they're going to give him that perfect game. I don't know yet.
Because I don't think I think there's most likely a fielder's choice somewhere, at least, because we got 2 walks on Springer.
Were there 2 walks on Springer?
There was 2 walks on Springer.
Oh yeah, so yeah, he got 2 walks, so he didn't.
So
he's not getting a perfect game. So that
do they classify it if you get a double play, and you throw a double play, you're still considered a quality a perfect game?
Nope.
Because technically it's not a fielder's choice because you got a double play.
Perfect game means 27 up, 27 down, no oddities. No hits, no earned bases, no nothing.
He's not getting a perfect game.
He's not getting a perfect game, which explains why doesn't have 87 points. He has 78. The 9 are gone. So that answers that. That's good. That's good for me to understand too, because that was one that I had forgotten about. And then save ops. Saves, blown saves. I did not make the blown save devastating this year. I left it at -2. I could have made it at -5.
Devastating. You should have made it devastating because the blown saves mean you fucked up somewhere. Pardon my French. You made a really big mistake somewhere and you screwed up hardcore, and so you blew it. It was a 1-run game. They scored with you on the mound, and you threw it away.
So the main reason I did not make it a -5, I left it at a -2, is that they blow the save. They're already losing points for hits. They're already losing points for earned runs. They're already losing points for more batters faced. They're not gaining points from outs. So it would be adding insult to injury by making a -5. So I just left it at -2, just to lighten that a little bit.
I would have made it like -10. But that's just
-10. I'll keep it in mind for next year. I'll keep that in mind for next year.
Because blown saves don't have. The thing is, blown saves don't happen very often. In order to get a blown save, you really got to screw that up. Because you can play terribly, and you can have a really good offense behind you, and you can still have them score several runs, and you will not be if you give up the 2 runs for it, and they come back and tie it. And then you get pulled out, you technically don't get the blown save. And if there's too many pitches that go in there at the same time, and they all pitch terribly, none of them are getting a blown save. There's going to be just the starter's going to get the loss.
A blown save is when a relief pitcher enters a game in a safe situation, but allows the tying run to score.
Okay, so they're already ahead at that point.
Yes.
So,
and then there have been 4 this last week that have happened that could have been, better. So not bad out of all the pitchers that pitched, but definitely some opportunity for other relievers out there. So that's just for how this goes. Managing rosters, looking at stats, and then keeping an idea of how the math works each week. And something I wanted to show you that I thought was that was actually kind of cool when it comes to winning matchups, and then predictions. You've been seeing my predictions I've been sending every week, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I had this hidden earlier. I'm going to zoom back in on it. So something changed. Ooh.
That's too far.
Yeah, that was too far for sure. So let's just look at this real quick. So MVPs are going to be first place with how he played last week.
Yeah, he kind of just destroyed everyone.
Went from fifth place prediction to first place prediction, being undefeated. We'll see how that goes. Then Ethan's team is going to be second. I'm going to be sticking it in at third at 15 wins, which is pretty insane. Corey jumped to fourth place.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there at fifth. And then followed by Shane at sixth. So Marith has dropped. Nautical has stayed there. But everyone else has done a little bit of a shuffle. And then if I pull this up, here's how close everyone is. You ready for this?
Within like a couple hundred points of each other, basically.
Within a couple hundred points of each other. Which it used to be more than a couple hundred points.
Less than 1,000 points. They're less than 1,000 points.
Yes.
Interchanged.
It's interesting. Like the points per match is there's only one person under 500 points per match. One. And it's ridiculous just how close these predictions are to what we actually tallied last week.
Unless you got MVPs up there at 550.
I mean, he's at 550. And he got, what, 556 last week?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so almost dead on, which is insane. Here is predictions by week, or scoreboard predictions. So if I go in, I'm just going to go up here, and here's the first 4 games. Okay. Looks like Blue is going to barely beat Mirth by like 2 points this week. We'll see. Chris,
I'm supposed to lose today or this week.
No, you're not.
I'm supposed to win by 1 point.
Win by a point, and then I'm gonna beat Rose by about 60 points, which is the biggest gap that there is predicted all week. Everyone else is pretty tight. So I'm interested in seeing how this plays out, because if you look at last week, look at MVP, 562. Prediction this week, 550. Ethan, 583. Prediction this week, 547. Rose, 460. Almost on the money for a point prediction. And then you, 513. What'd you get last week? 383 to 2. So, I mean, there's a little bit of gap there. And then True to the Blue, his gap difference. Well, if he actually doesn't just leave his players on the bench, he'd be getting more points. But that's beyond that. That's up to him. But everything is shifting and adjusting for sure. And if we look at this, since I first set this up and started digging into this, this is how everyone has adjusted. I originally predicted at second. I'm now at third. You were at seventh. You're now at fifth. And then Blue now at fourth. Mirith is at seventh. Ethan's at second. MVP is at first out of fourth. And then Shane went from first to sixth.
All that matters is that you lose.
All that matters is that I lose. I'll remember that. I'll remember that.
Plus 660.
I mean,
that's
here
what my changes.
Yeah, here's just everyone's changed week over week. I mean, it's pretty interesting.
It's about to change even more because I just tried to grab somebody. I won't know until like
later on tomorrow.
No, day after tomorrow, actually.
Oh, day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, but like the math is doing wonders so far. Woo, 100%, please. Don't zoom in that far. Thank you. So just overall, right now we're sitting at just 1 game played, but I'll come back to that later on next week. But it was an interesting first week. What are your predictions for this week? Who do you think is going to win what?
For what? Like for fantasy or for?
Yeah, for fantasy. We're just sticking with fantasy for right now.
Yeah, that other one's another video. Let me look at our thingy. I'm thinking that it's going to be me, obviously the kid.
Okay.
Obviously, because this is like, what else do we got? And then Rose, and then Meredith.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, picking the underdogs.
So you're going with you're going with kid. You're going with you.
Yep.
Meredith and Rose, huh?
Yep.
That's who you think's gonna win this week?
Yep. Just because he's out sick right now, so he's not doing anything.
Who?
Yeah.
Blue?
True to the yeah.
Yeah.
He's not doing nothing.
I mean, hey, more power to him if you're supposed to let's just let it run. You know, automatic doesn't always mean good.
Yeah.
I'm writing this down. I'm gonna see if you're right or not next week. I'm gonna see if you're right or not. Okay, and then I'm gonna be facetious for a second. I'm thinking I'm gonna beat Rose. All right, thinking I'm gonna be beating him, but then I honestly think that Meredith is gonna take over. Who's Meredith playing this week? Meredith is, yeah, duh. Meredith is playing blue, so I can see where that's going. I'm still gonna believe it's gonna be kid, like over Ethan. Yeah, I think it's gonna be the kid. But I watched Shane's team last week. I don't know. I'm going Shane over you.
You're going Shane over me?
I'm going Shane over you. Because I mean, a point difference. I mean, last week you were what, 50 points? First week you were a 50-point difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. And or not even 44 points. 44 point difference. I was 14 points away from him. So, I mean, there was a little bit of a gap there. I was the closest. We had the closest match, me and Shane. And then everyone else was like blowouts. Corey's was the biggest, a 300 point difference. Just a little bit of a upset. So, yeah, I'm gonna stick with who was doing well last week. But I'm going to go with one underdog, and that's Meredith. Who do you think is going to be the biggest point victor this week?
The kid.
You think the kid?
110%. 110%. There's nothing that I can say that would change that. Personally.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the same. I'm gonna believe it. I'm gonna think that is gonna happen. So we're gonna come back to that, and then we're gonna see who was right next week, and just kind of get an idea of just, are we good at predicting or are we bad at predicting?
Probably gonna be bad at predicting.
You think we're gonna be bad at predicting?
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Positivity. I mean, ultimately what it comes down to is, if you look at this last thing I have over here, the last thing we can cover today before we look at just the end results, right? So this is benches and this is raw pool for everybody for pitching and batting in separate instances.
Okay.
So I have the 6th highest points for pitching. Okay. And then you have the 4th highest points The kid has the most pitching points between bench and start.
He's got the most total in both.
Yeah, and then the batting and fielding performance is insane. So like he's ultimately that's where he gets the undefeated right there. It's because of those two things. But then we start breaking everything else down. I'm 6th in pitching, 4th in batting. You're 4th in pitching or 6th in batting. So we're flip flopped in those two. If Corey could manage his roster, if Blue could manage his roster, he's sitting 5th. That's good, but he's got to do better for himself. Meredith's at 2nd for pitching, but 7th for batting. That's insanely opposite. And then Ethan 3rd and 3rd, with Shane 7 and 2, and then Rose just tying it out in 8th.
And what's funny is that his was basically all done via auto.
Rose's?
Almost every single thing he did was automatic.
Oh, the kid?
Yes. There was only 2 moves made or 3 moves made outside of it. And that was because he did not like how, when he was looking at it, he did not like the WAR when he searched it, and he did not like the whip when he searched it.
Really?
And so he dropped it based off of the wins above average, the wins above replacement, the whiff percentage off of the pitching, and the whip percentage off of hitting. He dropped 3 players off of that, and that's it. And then he picked 3 up that had a lower whiff rate, lower whip, or higher whip and higher WAR. That's what he did. That's it. That's all he did, and he's above everybody else.
I was wondering why he picked the pitchers he picked.
Yeah, I sat there and looked at it. I was like, I don't think you should do that, but okay. And then it's obviously like paying off. So
yep.
So there's that.
Good Lord! All right, so he should be a general manager someday. You go there. You go there.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just waiting to see what happens.
I mean, not really much else to talk about because it's the first week, but pretty interesting first week to watch how things play out. And already starting off week 2 with some pretty high scoring first games, especially with the grand slams and all the home runs happening like crazy today. We'll see what happens tomorrow, and then on the 3rd, and there's a major break on the 4th. So, yeah, I think we're going to be in for an interesting season this year for sure. Tune in, everybody, next week as we cover our week 2 statistics and our predictions, and we start talking a little bit more about the actual league itself. But today's just, again, covering how fantasy baseball works, as well as the point breakdown, and then what we've seen so far in our league. So have fun, everybody. Thank you for watching, and tune in next week.